Yeah, okay. So, hi, my name is Patrick Butler, and I'm actually an Irishman. I'm currently based in Ireland. However, I did spend 5 years living in the United States, in Boston, which I call my second home, and Raleigh in North Carolina. I'm currently a full-time student. I'm just finishing off a psychology degree. But in the past, I have a master's degree in law and international trade as well. And I currently work full-time as well. I'm a consultant in the technology and software industry as well. So I like to dip my fingers in a lot of different pies as well.
Right.
So yeah, I've done a lot for I'm 36 now, but I've done a lot in my time.
All right.
And yeah, I'm very
Get,
excited to be here.
get out of here. That's too much. No one's allowed to have that much of a life. You have to be like a
But
pepper like me that's done absolutely nothing.
you're being too hard on yourself as always, Abe, I think. But yeah, I mean, I'm also a recovering alcoholic. I'm 3 years sober, and I think that has given me a kind of a new enthusiasm for politics, for life, for mental health, and for creating more of a global community instead of just lots of micro communities that really don't want to intermingle with each other. So I think that's been a really kind of positive thing in my life as well.
When did you start school? When you got sober or before?
I started my psychology degree just after, like literally a couple of months after I got sober. But my previous education was back in 2002 to 2007.
When you were in the full bloom of alcoholism.
Oh, I was living my best life at that time. Yeah, absolutely. Um, but yeah, and then I decided to because university is free for me here. So I've done now 8 years of college, university, and it hasn't cost me $1 as yet. So it's encouraged here, and also if you're a mature student and you're a mature student if you're 23 or over, and they encourage you to go back to school, and they pay you about $950 a month just to go to school.
Wow.
um yeah, and there's also, if you're financially embarrassed, as it were, there's other grants that are available that can give you an extra 500 to 600 bucks as well. So we really treasure and value education here, so it's really important.
Sounds so much like the South in America. So no, I want to go back to that point because when you got sober, were you thinking about going to therapy, psychology, or because I know that I've been sober in my past, and I just remember that when you get that clarity that you want to kind of a new trajectory, enthusiasm comes. So I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, there was a moment where, so most people when they try to get sober, they go down a 12-step program route, and that's just not me. I'm more of an organic person, but drinking is a symptom of something else. So there's plenty of trauma in my life that I was trying to figure out at the time, but I figured I might as well go all the way down that rabbit hole and figure out things properly. So the psychology was a natural progression. Plus, it complements my previous history in the software industry, because I deal a lot with psychometric testing and video interviewing and unconscious biases, etc. In the recruitment industry. So it seemed like a good fit for that. It would complement that. So all around, it seemed like a good thing for me. Plus, I wasn't just quite ready to rejoin society in the way that I was previous to my sobriety. So I figured if I went back too quickly to that life, I would probably relapse. And so I said, okay, I'll start school and then slowly but surely go back into money making and software, and that's what I did. And it turns out that I took to psychology like a fish to water, and most of it made sense to me because I could see in a practical sense how it established, psychology was present and established itself in my life, from an early age, and it helped me get proper closure on a few things and acceptance on a few others. So it's been a really, really good journey.
Cool. I mean, in America, therapy is a lot of people who become actors go through a lot of like psychology classes because
Yeah.
it's true. You go on that journey within and you kind of need to not go blindly into it. I mean, you can, but it's nice to know that there's like a science behind understanding self.
So it's only been about 8 months since I joined TikTok, and I didn't know what it was. Like, it took me a couple of months of playing around with it to kind of understand my place. I'm certainly not a dancer or you know, one of these people. So, you know, and I like to have a bit of a rant. So and Donald Trump gave me an avenue there to talk about things and give my opinion. But it took me a couple of months. But then my account started to take off purely because people really appreciated an external opinion about what was happening in the US by somebody who understood what was happening in the US almost more than most people in the US.
No, when you showed up on my For You page, I thought you were just an expat living in America.
Yeah,
because you were like so clear, more than most. It was really unbelievable.
I think the USA is doing absolutely terribly. I think, and I think it's rooted in a lack of education and hate. It really is that hate, that inherent hate that's passed on now from generation to generation. You know, this march on March the 4th, you know, where people think, oh, Donald Trump is going to be president again on March the 4th. I was saying recently that it actually doesn't matter what the event is or what it's about. These people will literally just go because they can hate Democrats there. And that's it. Can we hate liberals? Can we hate Democrats at it? Sign me up. But
Do you think there's going to be anything? What do you think? What do you?
No, not at all. I don't think there's going to be anything at all. Why? Because there's going to be 25,000 National Guard troops in Washington, and you know, that's a very different scenario than just walking through the front door of the Capitol building because there's only 20 cops to protect it. Right. You know, so that's a very different scenario. But I would add that on the Democrat side, on the liberal side, there's really an intolerance and an impatience there. You know, we really need to try and educate, absolutely. But what I found is, let's say with Texas recently, you know, Texas needed help. And yes, their political leaders are idiots. Ted Cruz, you know, went off to Cancun, etc. But women, children, grandparents, elderly, vulnerable, they needed help. And Democrats had an opportunity to show the entire country that they were different from Trump supporters and Republicans and those who just hate the other side by showing that compassion. And about 50% of my content was flooded with people saying, who cares? They're a red state, they're Republican, we don't care about them. They didn't vote for relief for California, so why should we care, etc. It doesn't really matter. If you're spending 4 years telling the Trump side, you need to do better, we're better than that, let us in and we'll act better, and then the first opportunity you act exactly the same as Trump supporters would if it was California in trouble, that's an issue.
Just because some people are Democrats doesn't make them anything like angels. I mean,
if you look at even TikTok after the election and after Joe Biden came into office, all you hear is content creators complain about lack of views, lack of interest, because they're not talking about Donald Trump in every single post anymore. So the attraction is not there anymore. So people need to diversify their content. And I think I've done that to a certain extent, or get used to the fact that nobody's interested in what Joe Biden has to say in that regard. Because like it or not, he's an evil Bond villain of sorts, but Donald Trump was always controversial and always filled column inches in every newspaper or, you know, every website, because every single day was controversy after controversy. And that was his whole media plan.
I get it, but can we do all the negative stuff now? You know what I mean? Like, where is fill it up with court case 1, 2, 3, taxes, vagina, you know, whatever. So why do you think all of a sudden the content, like the Black content, and why is so much shit is happening on that? What is that?
You know, so I think there's a lot of hysteria. One thing I've learned from, you know, dealing with the elections, and, you know, lots of people come to my page just to be calmed down a little bit, you know, from all of the craziness. But, you know, we're all a bunch of drama queens, really. on that app. We really are, like, and we get, we get so far down the rabbit hole that every small thing becomes this massive thing. And, it's, a day in TikTok is like a year in real life almost, because it's a bit like Narnia. But in terms of discrimination and issues like that, TikTok are trying to implement procedures, and I had a meeting with TikTok only a few weeks ago, with their head of safety and guidance in Dublin, and we talked about issues, and they're trying to implement procedures now, but it's the transition from a Chinese-based scenario to a Westernized-based scenario, and they've just been really slow in terms of making that transition from, it doesn't matter what we do, it's a capitalist country, and and we can censor whatever the hell we want, to, okay, we want to be a more inclusive platform, etc. They didn't realize how fast they were going to grow. They have about 900 million users now, and that's 600 million growth in a year, and that's colossal. That's absolutely colossal. So it's very hard from an admin point of view to catch up, but they should have preempted that and put these things in place beforehand. But again, Chinese companies, they don't really necessarily do things the way the rest of the world do, and fair enough. In terms of people of color on the app, and trans people and people in the LGBTQIA plus community, I think it's fueled by hatred again. So people will go into TikTok, search for particular hashtags, and with all their friends, they'll just mass report everything that's there. There are literally farms of reporters. We talk about these hacking farms, or these, Russian farms, but there's literally farms of churches in the USA, groups of bigoted people who will literally go after content creators based on hashtags that they're using. And it's absolutely crazy. But TikTok should be aware of that. If there's 70 reports on a video within 6 minutes, 7 minutes, then that should be a red flag that something's not right. But they don't review the content before they take it down. There's an automated scenario whereby if you get 5 reports per category, it's automatically taken down, and it's only reviewed on reviews, so you have to appeal it. And the vast majority of people don't appeal it because they don't know what to say.
Well, thing is, I always knew I wanted more than 59 seconds.
Yeah, of course.
Like you, Nikki, Ryan, and I have already. I don't know if you've gone to if you go to the YouTube channel, Won't Be Silent, you'll see I have my first dozen interviews already out.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'll check it out now after this. Yeah.
These are the people that are like, like the team captains. But not really. But just like, these are the people that, just they want to do this. And it's as simple as that.
We like in tech industry, we call them early adopters, but we call them champions. You're looking for your champion in a particular sector. So that's the person who can drive the narrative beyond internally. So those 12 people are your champions, and
you probably have 12 champions, and Ryan probably has 12 champions. And I think secondarily, if we do this right, this could be TikTok having TikTok. See, because TikTok, people don't think of it as a political machine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, it's because we just did it, and there was no. But I think we could kind of be like a thing. You know what I mean? I think it could be something that's notable, not necessarily going to get, in the New York Times or anything, but I think it's notable. All right, good. Well, have a great day, and good luck with everything, and I'll see you on the virtual reality.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Take care.